For 75 years, the Commercial Street Bridge carried traffic into Pittsburgh. Then, this happened. Explosives dropped the old bridge into the valley while its 22 million pound replacement waited just 100 feet away. Crews now had to clear the wreckage, move the new bridge sideways, connect it to Interstate 376, and reopen a highway used by approximately 100,000 vehicles every day. PennDOT gave them 25 days, and they did it all in far less time. Today, I'm at the site to talk about how they pulled off one of the most fascinating and challenging bridge projects you'll probably ever see, and it all happened in the city of bridges. The Commercial Street Bridge stands between the Edgewood and Swissvale interchange and the eastern entrance to the Squirrel Hole Tunnel. This is a remarkably confined section of highway. I-376 passes through the tunnel, crosses a wooded valley, and continues toward Pittsburgh's eastern suburbs. Beneath the bridge are Commercial Street, the 9-mile run trail, a stream, and part of Frick Park. The original bridge was completed back in 1951, after 3 years of construction. Its open concrete arches stretched across the valley and became a familiar part of the surrounding landscape. But after more than 7 decades of traffic and weathering, maintaining the structure was becoming increasingly expensive. Its deteriorating condition also limited the permit loads that could use the highway. These permit loads are unusually heavy vehicles that require special authorization to travel. Think like the oversized loads you might see on a highway. PennDOT and its engineers first studied whether the original bridge could be rehabilitated, but bringing it up to modern standards would have required extensive modifications, affecting many of the features that made the bridge historically significant. Eventually, replacement became the more practical option, which created another problem. As I mentioned in the intro, this bridge carries approximately 100,000 vehicles a day, with most traffic funneled directly toward the tunnel. Rebuilding it conventionally would have meant dividing the bridge in half, squeezing traffic onto one side and reconstructing the other. Traffic would then shift onto the new half while crews repeated the process. That approach could keep part of I-376 open, but it would create continuous restrictions for more than 4 years. PennDOT chose a different approach: build the replacement bridge beside the highway, close I-376 for several weeks, and move the completed structure into place all at once. A monumentally difficult task, and let's talk about why. But before we get into that, this video is sponsored by Factor. I work a full-time job and run this channel and another channel. That means I don't have much time to cook. After work, the last thing I want to do is prep food, order takeout, or clean a pile of dishes. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes with no prep or cleanup. I take one from the fridge, put it in the microwave, and dinner is handled. Every meal is dietitian approved and made with real ingredients like lean proteins, healthy fats, whole grains, and 2 types of fruits or vegetables. My favorite part about Factor is how good all of these taste. This time I got roasted garlic butter salmon, garlic parmesan cream shredded beef, and a breakfast skillet, among others. I highly recommend giving Factor a try. It is honestly extremely convenient. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code BuildCoreFB50 to get 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for a year. That's code BuildCoreFB50 at factor75.com. BuildCoreFB50 at factor75.com. New subscribers only, varies by plan. 1 free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. Thank you, Factor, and let's get back to it. Engineers still wanted the new bridge to reflect the open appearance of the original concrete arches. They evaluated several potential designs, but eventually selected what's called an arched steel delta frame bridge. A conventional arch transfers large horizontal forces into its foundations, minimizing bending and shear. Those forces make a completed arch especially difficult to lift and move. The delta frame design creates a similar arched appearance using large triangular steel frames beneath the roadway. These frames transfer the bridge's weight into 2 primary piers while allowing the entire structure to be supported temporarily and moved sideways. The finished bridge is more than 825 feet long. Its 7 girder lines contain approximately 7.5 million pounds of structural steel. Add the concrete deck barriers and other components, and the completed structure weighs just over 22 million pounds. That's roughly the weight of 7,000 average cars. The new bridge also provides wider shoulders, with the inside shoulder at 4 feet and the outside at 12. That creates room for disabled vehicles, emergency access, and future maintenance without immediately blocking a travel lane. Before any of that could benefit drivers, however, crews had to build the bridge without removing the one already occupying its position. Construction on the $95 million project began in June of 2024. Immediately south of the original bridge, crews built temporary piers and abutments. At the same time, they began constructing the permanent foundations directly beneath the existing bridge. That meant working in a valley with limited space and extremely low overhead clearance. Large conventional foundation equipment could not always fit under the bridge. Instead, crews installed micropiles extending anywhere from 30 to 100 feet into the ground. These relatively narrow steel elements transfer the bridge loads into deeper, more stable material. Commercial Street and the trail were temporarily relocated beneath the construction area, while protective structures helped separate the public from work occurring above. The new bridge's steel delta frames were fabricated in Wisconsin, divided into transportable sections and delivered to Pittsburgh. Approximately 140 steel deliveries arrived over several months. The pieces were assembled on the temporary foundations, connecting the major frame sections and installing the girders that would eventually support the highway. Then came the concrete deck, barriers, drainage systems, railings, and other components. But before PennDOT committed to the big move, the system needed to be tested. Crews completed a short test slide, moving the bridge approximately 5 feet. This test was important because whether it looks like it or not, a bridge this long remains somewhat flexible. If one section moved faster than another, the structure could twist or place unintended loads into its steel frame. Once the test was complete, everything was ready for the closure. At approximately 9 p.m. on July 10th, I-376, or at least this section of it, was officially closed. Through traffic was directed away from the construction zone, with detours extending through the surrounding communities. PennDOT intentionally scheduled the work during the summer, when regional traffic volumes were generally lower and major Pittsburgh universities had not yet begun their fall semesters. The contract allowed 25 days, with the highway scheduled to reopen on August 3rd, which meant every hour now mattered. Before the new bridge could move, the original structure had to disappear. Crews removed pavement, separated sections of the approaches, and prepared critical portions of the old bridge for an explosive demolition. Carefully positioned charges sever selected points. Every explosive unit was wrapped in several layers of protective material to help contain debris. The permanent foundations beneath the old bridge needed to survive the demolition undamaged. Shortly after 8 a.m. on July 16th, the charges detonated. The old bridge dropped into the valley in a matter of seconds, and it was quite the spectacle. One stick of dynamite failed to detonate during the initial demolition, and approximately 24 hours later, while crews were cleaning debris, a piece of equipment struck the undetonated charge, causing an unexpected explosion. No injuries or issues came of it, but this highlights some risk. In less than a week, the structure had been reduced to debris and was removed from the path of its replacement. With that out of the way, it was time for the slide, and operations began on July 19th. The new bridge rested on 42 specialized skid shoes arranged along 4 primary support lines, 1 at each abutment and 2 beneath the bridge's main piers. Each shoe contained an integrated hydraulic jack. Working together, the jacks raised the entire bridge approximately 10 inches from its temporary supports. The skid shoes rested on tracks cast into the concrete. Low friction surfaces helped the enormous structure move without requiring wheels or massive pulling equipment. Hydraulic cylinders advanced the bridge in controlled increments. After each movement, the equipment reset and repeated the process. Every skid shoe could be controlled independently. If one section began moving slightly ahead of the others, operators could adjust that support while continuously monitoring pressure, position, and structural movement. During just the first day, the bridge was moved 96 feet in approximately 7 hours. The following morning, it completed the final distance. The structure was now centered over the permanent piers and aligned with 376. The hydraulic system then lowered all 22 million pounds onto the permanent bearings. They secured the bridge to its final foundations and removed the temporary equipment. I-376 still couldn't reopen. Crews worked around the clock to connect the bridge to the highway, installing approaches, joints, barriers, drainage, and pavement. On the evening of July 27th, eastbound I-376 reopened. Westbound traffic followed, with 2 lanes available in both directions by midnight. The closure had lasted just 17 days, 8 days less than the maximum schedule and a full week ahead of the planned August 3rd reopening. But the entire project was not completed in 17 days. Work began way back in 2024, and restoration of the bridge will continue into 2027. As of the time of filming this, temporary foundations are in the process of being removed. Commercial Street, the trail, and the stream below the bridge will be restored. Plans also call for more than 5,000 trees and shrubs to be planted throughout the surrounding area. Today, the new Commercial Street Bridge looks like an ordinary part of the Parkway East. Most drivers will never realize that a 22 million pound structure was built just 102 feet away and moved sideways into place. Years of planning and construction condensed more than 4 years of potential lane restrictions into just 17 days of complete disruption. The bridge now looks ordinary because thousands of people spent years preparing for this moment. In a world where so many projects, especially bridge projects, go over budget and take forever to finish, it's refreshing to see innovative techniques like this being used. To me, that's what makes this project so fascinating and worthy of more attention. I'm Josh, this is Buildcore, thanks for watching.